listeners to the rap music. On today's show, we're going to do a quick guide on what you should look for if you're a beginner and you're looking to buy an amp. Now, we're not going to differentiate between tube amps and solid state amps today. We're just going to blend those two together. What we're really going to talk about is the different features on an amp that you want to look out for. Now, it can be really confusing when you're surfing and you're researching and you're trying to find an amp, because you get thrown a lot of technical terms, the tubes, just so many things that can be so confusing. I could run down a list, but I don't even want to mention them because I don't want to add that confusion to this. As a matter of fact, I want to make this as simple as possible for the features that you want to look for. Now, everything above these features we'll call gravy. So great, if you have the budget in order to get the basics with gravy on it, fantastic. If you can just get the meat dish, then you're doing pretty good. And that's basically what you need. I believe when you start throwing too many bells and whistles on an amp, that's when you can get into trouble, especially down the line with repairs. You want to get the simplest amp that you can buy that is easily repairable, because again, if this is an investment you're putting your money into and it costs just as much to be repaired as it does to buy it, then you're not really getting a good return on that. Whereas with these simple amps by Vox and Laney, for example, the ones that I own, these combo amps, I can take it apart and put it back together myself. If you can read a schematic sheet, if you can't, then there's a lot of guys out there who can do the work. And do it very cheaply and not expensively. Again, these aren't complicated rigs. So that's going to be my number one statement to you is purchase, a rig that suits the needs of what you need. Anything else on it that you're not using, why are you paying for that? So really buy an amp that suits your needs, as basic as possible. That's my opinion. As basic as possible, the minimum bells and whistles, but gets you the sound that you want. Because again, the repair costs later on down the line on that, $4,000 whatever amp, believe me, you're going to be hating life, especially the weeks and weeks and weeks it'll take also for it to be repaired. So that's one aspect. Now, again, we're not going to differentiate between tube amps and solid state amps. Solid state amps with their circuitry boards are by definition a far more complicated amp than a basic tube amp with hand wiring. So that's something that you want to take in consideration that a lot of people don't, is that what will be the repair cost on this down the line. The next thing that I want to talk about is what sound are you looking for? Before you purchase an amp, be sure that that amp matches the sound of the tone qualities of the music that you're looking for. I like 60s and 70s rock tones. So I have picked out two speakers, two combos that basically cover that for me. This Laney, especially with the modifications that I've given to it, gives me that British classic rock sound. And the Vox, as you know, has that classic, I guess I like British sound more than American. Although I am in the market for a Fender amp because it has that classic American sound. So again, that gets into the tone qualities of what it is that you're looking for. I'm not going to chug on either one of these two. It's not going to work. So you really want to identify, do a little research, look at your guitar heroes, look at the guys that you admire and the sounds that they're getting that you're trying to strive for. And you may not be able to buy as expensive of a rig as they have, but at least it puts you on the path to find a rig that's as similar, maybe at a lower cost, a little bit more budget friendly, that'll get you close to that. God bless you if you can buy the rig that your hero has, that would be great. Not a lot of people can. Now, another one of the features that you want to look for is an external speaker jack, and that's important because of the wattage of your amp. Both of these amps are 15 watt amps. 15 watt amps is what I consider to be all that you need to do home recording, studio recording, live gigs, and we'll talk about why that's a fact in a moment. and basically won't get you evicted from your apartment. And you don't need that 30. You don't need that Marshall stack. It's a great thing. You haul it out and you play. You chug one chord on it and you blow yourself across the wall like Macaulay Culkin, whatever. But the truth of the matter is that it's unnecessary, and actually it's detrimental to you and your ears and a whole lot of other things. You just don't want to be playing those high volumes. You don't need that big wattage. 15 watts, you're covered. Now, why do I say you can use this 15 watts at a live gig? Well, a lot of live gigs that I played at, we mic'd our amps. So it was mic'd through the PA system. So a lot of famous guys, they'll have huge Marshall stacks as displays for their show on their stage. But the reality is that the sound is coming through maybe a 10 or 12, a 15 watt amp, that's mic'd backstage. And so even still with this amp and with the Vox, they have an external speaker jack. So that means that I can hook up a 4x12, 2x12, 4x12 cabinet to either one of these in order to project more sound. So you want to get a combo unit, that has an external speaker jack to it for that purpose. Speaking of wattage, one of the things that you may want to consider when purchasing a combo amp is one that you can plug from a 15 watt amp down to a 1 watt amp. Basically what this does is it reduces the overall volume that's coming out of the output of your combo amp and makes playing at bedroom volumes really comfortable. It's a great feature to have. I use it. I very rarely myself plug into the 15 watt plug on this Laney. I'm always in the 1 watt because frankly, for all of my recording and my playing here at home needs, that about covers it. That's loud enough. So another thing that you want to consider when purchasing your first combo amp is the speaker size. You can get an 8-inch speaker, you can get a 10-inch speaker, you can get a 12-inch speaker. I do believe I've even seen 15. So the speaker size is really going to have a lot to do with your sound quality. Here's where I think that there is a sweet spot to be had. I believe that an 8-inch speaker combo sonically is not really going to make you happy. I think that you're going to have issues with that small of a speaker size sonically. That's my opinion. A 10-inch speaker seems to be the sweet spot because some people find a 12-inch speaker, maybe it's too loud, especially for home recording or home practicing. But a 10-inch speaker seems to have that sweet spot with most people. So I like 12-inch speakers, because most of the vintage speakers that I have, their finest models were in their 12-inch radius size. So, there is a sweet spot that I will recommend a 10-inch, although I don't practice that. I like these 12-inch speakers and these combo units, but that's something you want to consider. And also, what speaker is in it. With most of the inexpensive budget combos, you're going to get a moderately okay speaker, but probably you're going to want to upgrade. Much like with some guitars, you're going to want to upgrade the pickups and speakers, and some of these combo amps you're also going to want to maybe do an upgrade. So put in your budget an idea of maybe an additional $100 to $150 for a speaker upgrade when you're looking into this, and I think you'll be all right. Then again, there are some combo amps that have fantastic speakers out the box. Again, it's really subjective. I myself, I only like the sound of vintage speakers. In this Vox, as you know, I have a vintage Celestion blue back that the dates on it put it around September of 1974. Which means that it does not have a pulsonic cone in it. It has an RIC cone in it, but that's okay. The speaker inside this Laney dates from around 1973, I believe. The greenback in it. Fantastic vintage tones out of both of these speakers. Obviously, getting up there, almost 50 years old, these cones. These speakers, they've been well broken in. They have a great sound to them. And so that's something that you might also want to consider is, you know, if you're looking for a vintage tone, then you might want to consider with your combo amp investing in vintage speakers for it. There are modern equivalents to it. Celestion puts out some fantastic modern equivalents to these vintage speakers. So depending upon your budget and how far you want to go, that's a recommendation that I think that you might want to take to heart. Now, again, at the beginning of this, we talked about the $4,000 guitar with a $400 amp as opposed to the $4,000 amp with a $400 guitar, and I stated that, well, more is not necessarily better. There are a lot of amp makers out there that throw a lot of bells and whistles on these combos, and really, realistically, I find that if the combo has a good EQ section, has a built-in reverb or not, that's not important because you can buy an external one, but a built-in reverb would be nice. Certainly has a built-in attenuator in it. Certainly has an external amp output so that amp jack so that I can go to a 2x12 or 4x12 if I want to, and also a little bit of maybe not necessary, but a nice thing to have would be to have an effects loop. So those are the basic things that you're looking for when you're buying, in my opinion, when you're looking for your beginner and you're looking for your first combo amp. Certainly this list is not comprehensive, but these are the basic things that you want to look for. So there you have it. I hope that this show has given you a little bit of insight if you had some confusion and you're out there shopping for the first time for a combo amp. Even if this is not your first combo amp that you're out there shopping for, maybe some of these tips or some of the things that I said may give you a better idea of what you're looking for the next time around. These are my amps for life. I have no intention on ever selling either one of these. I really invested a lot in terms of making them the best that they could be, and they were not expensive. These are $500 amps. $500 retail, $500 retail. I've put about an additional $400 worth of work into them. So when you look at them, they look stock, but when you turn them around and you get into the guts of them, you'll see that there really has been some work done on these. These are modded amps. I'm not saying that that's necessary and something that you have to feel you need to do. These had good bones, both of these amps, from the start. So I can't make something that doesn't have good bones sound better. That's the same thing with the guitars as well. So if you start with a good bass point and you know what those good bass points are, guaranteed down the line, you probably won't find yourself sorry and needing to get something else. Well, that's it for today's show. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's very important that we get you to join in with the party here. We've hit 400 subscribers, which is quite an interesting thing. I'm so excited to make that milestone. I would like very much to get to 1,000 subscribers, and I can't do that without you. If you like today's content as well, don't forget to hit the like button. And until the next show, you guys take care. I'll see you around. Bye-bye.